Hello, I'm Louise Luton and this is my lovely garden studio, and I'm going to talk you through today how to deal with a sagging canvas or a dented canvas that you don't want to send back but that you can't paint on as it is. So I'm going to show you this canvas here which I painted on yesterday, and we can see it's pretty tight, and if I really needed to tighten that up anymore I can use the little corner wedges that you slide in there, and you'll find that on another YouTube clip of mine later on. Ideally, when a canvas arrives at your home, if you've bought it off the internet, as lots of us have to now for local art shops have closed down, it should look lovely. This is a narrow edged canvas. This is from Jackson's. A lot of artists I know get all of their stuff from Jackson's. And you can see it's completely flat. If I hold that up against the light, there's no dents, there's no sagging in the corners. It's a good canvas. However, I've started to use a lot of these natural linen canvases. You can see on this one, it's just a bit saggy. It's not like that first one I showed you. It's definitely saggy there in the corner. There's a dent there, all around here. And I wouldn't be happy about painting that and then selling that to a customer at quite a high price. These are expensive canvases as well. So if you've ordered a job lot of canvases and they come in a bit baggy like this, you don't want the hassle of sending it back to the shop and paying all the postage. If you're organising a big art event and you've bought a lorry load of canvases and some of them are damaged and some of them aren't, again, you want a quick fix solution to get everyone painting as soon as you can. And lastly, I've got a small canvas like this which has already been painted, a cute little Highland on gold. This is still all oil paint, but you can see there's a dent there where either a corner of another canvas is lodged in or something's happened there, and again it's saggy in the corner. And the method I'm going to show you works for canvases that have already been painted as well. One word of warning: if you have a painting that is old where the dent is so bad that the paint on the top has been cracked or damaged, go and take it to a specialist. Don't try and deal with it. If it's a brand new painting or a painting that you bought directly from a gallery or directly from an artist, contact them. They should be able to help you, even if it's not their fault that it's damaged. I know that if one of my customers contacted me and told me that there was a dent in one of my canvases, I'd be delighted to help them. If I could solve it then and there, I would. So here's something you can do before you bother going to do all of that, and it's easy peasy poo. This is a garden sprayer which would normally have some weed killer or something like that in, and instead it's just got water in. You can use tap water. I don't. I use distilled water, and that's because in my area, I live in Salisbury, the water is very, very hard here. It's very chalky, and I don't want to build up a chalky residue. Or you could use boiled water and let the water cool down. And it's really simple. Let's get those wedges out of the way. That's all I do. Spray it with water. And let's try it out with this little tiny one with a dent. A very big canvas with a little dent would be very easy to solve. But let's see whether it works. And with this one, I've got to get it a little bit wetter because it's a smaller canvas. So I'm getting that into the corners. Now on this canvas, we can see that the water is coming through. This canvas has got a clear prime gesso already on it, but it's only got one layer of gesso. So that's where you can see it coming through. And if you're doing this because a canvas that you've bought that is already painted and you start seeing the water coming through it, you're going to panic. It's only water. The only word of warning would be make sure that you're not doing this with a watercolour. Lots of watercolour artists paint on canvas. Most of the time it would still be fine because there'll be a gesso in between the water and you, and most of the time the watercolour has been varnished. But make sure, if it's acrylic or it's oil, it won't damage it. You can hear already, that's pinning back. That's getting tighter. But we've still got that little dent in the corner, so I'm just going to make sure about that. There we go. Maybe a couple of other corners. Good. And now what we've got to do is we've got to be patient and we've got to leave them to dry. Don't start attacking this with a hairdryer. You don't need to get it hot for it to ping back. Don't lean it against the radiator, just leave it alone. And if you've got loads, you might lay out 10 canvases and all try and re-stretch them all at the same time. Fine. go and do what I'm about to do, which is stop the camera, make a cup of tea, and then when I come back, this will be dry and stretched and there'll be no dents. Okay, so I've gone off for about half an hour or so, maybe a little bit longer, had my cup of tea and a sit down, and now I've come back to my canvases. This, it looks dry, it's not. I can still feel it's a tiny bit damp, but you can see it's come back tighter. There are no dents. The corners are now nice and tight as well. On the back, it feels dry. I can tell there's a little bit of dampness in the corner. So I wouldn't paint on this immediately, but I've got a good day's painting ahead of me, and this will be ready for me to paint on later on today when it's absolutely bone dry. Let's have a look at the little one that was dented, and we can see the dent there has completely gone and the corner has virtually completely shrunk back. But again, because this is such a tiny canvas, it got very wet there in the corner, so this has still got a bit of shrinking back to do. But you can see how that would be fine now. And a big dent on a bigger canvas is easier to solve because you've got more canvas to shrink back once you get it wet. So it should work, whereas these little ones can be a bit harder. The plus point is little ones tend to get dented less often because they're much easier to look after. I sell a lot of my work at art fairs, or sometimes people come to my studio and buy directly from me. And whilst it will leave the studio in perfect order, the prime time for it to get damaged is on the journey home in the car. We'll wrap it up in bubble wrap, we'll do whatever we can, but a tiny corner nicking the edge of a seat or anything like that could result in one of those little dents that we saw at the beginning. So please go and get a little bit of water and a little bit of spray, and that's it, and just leave it be. It will save you lots of time and hassle, it won't cost you any money at all, and it's not frightening to do. There are some repair work that can be scary and that you would want a specialist to do, but a little bit of water spray and your work will look great on your wall, and you'll have your beautiful piece of artwork back in one piece with no dents. Thanks for watching, see you next time.